Hey Dave Vinny Wolves here, having a nice little walk around Key West in Florida, and a bright sunny day and a bright sunny disposition here after we got out of jail against Forest. I do have to make a confession. Everybody should be thanking me because I was so fed up with the result and the prospect of losing to Forest and Gibbs White again, that I actually turned the match off for the first time in my life. I think I turned a Wolves match off before the end, and 2 minutes later Penn scores, so you're welcome. Don't say I don't sacrifice my beloved team. And actually my wife forbade me from turning it back on after that, just so that Forest wouldn't score. Not that I'm superstitious or anything. So, but like I said, it felt like we got out of jail. We had a lot of possession, but we didn't do anything with it. And I think it was quite a long way into the second half. We'd had no shots on target. And after all that possession and no shots on target, that's just not good enough. They have to find a solution to that. I do think we'll be okay. I think as long as we don't lose to the teams around us, even if it's just a draw, I think that'll keep us safe. There are quite a lot of teams between us and the relegation zone, and all of them would have to pick up points for us to go down, and I think we'll be all right. But limp over the finish line, but it's going to be a long rest of the season. Just pick up results, get to the summer, and hopefully sort the squad out and get some impetus into next season. So that's it. We didn't lose. That's all that matters at this point. Silly goal. I thought Sarr was at fault for the goal. He either came part way out, then went back. Should have come all the way out, or stayed on his line. And Forest will be kicking themselves because they had a lot of chances in the second half, and they probably should have been 2 or 3 up by the time we scored. But they didn't, and we got a point out of it, which was what I was expecting, and I would have been happy with that. So especially the way the match played out, I'm happy. We got a point. It's one more game down to the end of the season, and next up is Chelsea, which will be fun. Talk to you later.
Hello everyone, Brighton, Thailand. Game's just finished, 1-1 draw at Forest, and I think we nicked a result there. First half, I thought we had a lot of possession but didn't do nothing with it. Our only chance was their defender flicked the ball on and it hit the woodwork, came out, but I don't think we had anything. They had a couple of chances, Brennan where Sarr tipped over, and Dennis where Sarr saved, but they got a goal. Went through Sarr's legs, what can you do? Second half, he made a couple of substitutions. I can't get my head around it. I don't think he knows his best team because he just mixes and matches sometimes. I was surprised Martinho was in and Cunha was up in front on his own. But second half, well, to be honest, I think we were second best. But Podence got an equaliser late on, and as I say, we nicked a draw performance-wise. Because we got a draw 6, my man of the match was Totti Gomez, because I thought he did well at left back. Not a good position for him, but he did well. But we go again. We're still in 13th place, but there you go. Up the Wolves.
Hello Wolves fans, this is DINNY here in Cork in Ireland. And if Wolves didn't know that they were in a relegation battle, they certainly do now. Because the last couple of games, Leeds and Forest, were games where, maybe it's just me, but I always think Wolves are a better team than teams like Leeds and Forest these days. So you're expecting points, and they're very, very few. So Wolves are certainly in a relegation battle. That's without doubt at this stage. The team selection was very strange at the start, putting Totti at left back. I hope Nori hasn't fallen out with Lopetegui, because there's huge potential in that young man, and if he's fallen out, then he may be on his way out of the club, and I think Wolves will regret that in future. As for the game itself, I thought things started kind of even enough, and then I thought Wolves midfield took over quite a bit, but then it all just became quite a scrappy affair. As the half wore on, Forest were having the more clinical of the chances, and I suppose this is the theme of the game. Wolves weren't creating too many clear-cut chances, and they weren't clinical with the ones they did create, whereas Forest were the opposite. They created decent chances. They appeared to be more clinical than Wolves. Another thing I noticed, the 5:30 game hasn't kicked off yet, and every team, there was 14 teams played, everybody left in a goal. So defences are leaky, But Wolves just don't have a striker, and they don't create enough chances for the person that's playing up top. So it's very, very frustrating. I don't think Wolves are sleepwalking towards the relegation battle anymore. They're right in it. They're right in it. I think Bournemouth won today. I think if West Ham win, they go level or above Wolves. So it's not looking good, guys. I'm not feeling very positive today, and I'm usually very optimistic. Even R2D2, the lampshade, is saying beep beep beep. So man of the match, I don't know, Traore maybe. He didn't do much either. Costa was okay when he came on. Oh, it's very hard. I think Nunes maybe. I think I'd give it to Nunes. He was just quite composed on the ball. Also, no, Semedo's missing for a game, and Neves missing for a couple of games. I'm just very down after that. Like, oh, and the match rating, give it a 5 out of 10. Last thing I'm going to say, this is a long one. Apologies to Dave for the length of this, but there was a lot in that game. Podence, just one thing on Podence. Well done, he got a goal. If he did spit at you, man, and it looked like he did. Now, I think he was trying to...
Hey Dave, Wolfman Jeff here on the porch in Chattanooga, Tennessee. We dodged the bullet with a bullet from Podence. Not sure how I feel about the match. I mean, I'm relieved that we got the 1 point rather than dropping 3. I can't really say we deserved any more than that. I do have to say that Forest wanted those 3 points more than we did. Most of the match was uninspiring. We had possession, but we didn't do anything with it. Forest found ways to stop us in our momentum. We had a few flashes, but we had a few flashes of stupid too, giving away the ball. So it was pretty frustrating. It didn't really feel until Podence scored that we were likely to, and it felt kind of lucky, to be honest. So I guess lucky to get the 1 point. It doesn't change too much from when we started, but we needed it to change. Still don't really feel we're gonna be relegated, and that's mostly due to how many teams behind us are also not doing well. So it's not so much on we're improving. Subs were interesting. Gomez starting on left was interesting. It wasn't the disaster I thought it was, but it really wasn't inspiration either. We'll see what happens. Next 2 matches are going to be tougher, and there's no way if we play like that we're going to get 80 points. So these guys have a gut check, and it just didn't feel like most of the match that we really had our hearts in it, and you can't play like that. It's the Wolfman Jeff. Happy for the 1, but not inspired. Back to you, Dave.